Okay, I'm working on the bushcraft bow, or the bush bow from the tiny little kit. Trying to make a bow and arrow set from what's in this little kit. Now this is for all the skeptics, scofflaws, naysayers, and doubting Thomases. This is about as big as you want to cut a piece of wood or a tree with this little saw, but we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. This is gonna suck. Notice how I'm pushing down here so I keep the crack open, it doesn't bind on the saw. That's the trouble with a lot of bush saws that are like in little kits and stuff, is they don't have enough offset on the teeth so that the teeth don't cut a wide enough hole for the blade. That's what you want to watch on getting this on. Hacksaws have it, but it's tiny, it takes a while. Hopefully I got enough gas to do this. Just go slow, take your time. Let's make sure the camera's right. Yes, it appears to be still running. I cut this out in the country, over my brother's yard, but if you were doing this out in the country, you would decide where to make your cut on the tree while the tree was standing. So I cut it here, but you would decide so you only had to do this once. Wouldn't want to cut any more than you have to. Oh, I gotta take a break. That's what you do when you're doing this kind of thing. Hold on. Okay, have a little rest. That's what you want to do when you do this kind of thing. If you're out in the bush, you want to save your energy, but more importantly, you don't want to wear out your hands all in like 10 minutes doing something like this in a hurry. Just take your time when your hands start to bug you. Oh man, sorry I started this now. It sucks doing it with a little saw, but it can be done. That's all I'm showing here. And if this were dry wood, I'd have a whole bunch of pretty good tinder for a fire. My hands are starting to get tired. Well, it's darn near halfway through. Rest the hands. I'll probably fast forward this if I can somehow with my video editing software. Take your time. You do the same thing if the tree were standing out in the bush and you wanted to cut it. It would be rooted on one end and you'd push on the other end to force the cut open so your saw doesn't bind. Like I say, if I was out in the bush, I decided where to make this cut and made it to cut the tree down and get my bow out of it. That even left these branches in that I took off already. Don't waste any effort doing any more cutting than you have to. Okay, we're getting there. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to take another break for a few minutes. Rest the hands. Okay, back at her. Okay, take your time, take your breaks. Don't hurt yourself. You don't want to get any blisters your first day in the bush, so you can't use your hands. You always want to make sure and take care of your hands out in the bush. You need them for everything. And again, the secret with the little saw is as long a stroke as you can take with the little saw. Use as much of the blade as you can. Yeah, it sucks. We'll just give that a little spread there so the saw don't bind. Oh, it's starting to give. I can feel it. Not much left. Now you want to be careful not to break this. Don't get impatient. Whether you're using an axe, like obviously you had better tools, an axe, a hunting or something like that, you'd chop through this. But you want to make sure when you're cutting down a bow tree, to make sure you cut the whole way through. Don't ever finish it off by breaking it or snapping it. You want to cut. Make sure your ends are cut by some kind of tool and not bent and snapped. It's a getting there. Well, actually quite a lot left to go. I may have to take another rest. This blade might be a bit dull already from some other crap I've been cutting with it. A fresh new hacksaw blade would probably go a lot better than the tail end of a used one. But even that, here we go. What's this? Okay, well, we'll take another break for a few minutes. Rest my fingers. Okay, good thing I stopped. I was getting a blister without noticing it. So I should have done this from the start. So there's a lesson with the little saw. It'll blister you really easy. I usually got tape in that kit too, so you might want to armor up the part of you that's taking the most pressure, like seems to be there. Okay, away we go. Like I say, once the snap here, you gotta be careful. You want to cut and not break off any of the ends of the bow. See, it's getting pretty solid. Maybe if we change the angle, it'll go quicker. Yeah, that's to do there. Huh, we're almost there. Turn it this way. Almost there. I'm tempted to break it, but just want to get as clean a cut as we can. It's just the bark. It's nothing. There you go. So that's a pretty good dense piece of cargana. And I've cut it. Of course, the good thing about doing it this way, you could break it down, like if you had an axe or something, chop it down. But the good thing about this is, now I got a handy little club to dispatch fish and small game. Alright, while I got you here, let's see here if it was really dry wood. You'd have lots of good tinder from doing that. Okay, I'm going to show you. Here, let me show you the blister. Should have done this to start with even one layer of tape. See how I started to get a blister there from doing that. But it did it. That's what the week said was. That was carragana I found in my brother's yard. This is some ash I found to make arrows out of ash limbs. And now, they're not the best. Now, I'm going to just give you a quick lesson here on straightening the arrows. Now, if it's raining and shitty, you can't go hunting, but you're gonna need a bow, or it's dark, too dark to hunt. You're sitting by the fire waiting for the night to pass. Making a bow and arrow is a good way to pass the night away if you can't sleep. Okay, now they got curves in them. Most. So what you do is you just keep working it, trying to get the curve out where you want it. Use your hands. If it's a big long curve, use your knee and do it like this. So you can just do by using your thumbs, you can do a long curve like that too. And so you just keep working it and working it. So here's I'm probably gonna have to cut the end of this off. This one's too curved, but get as much of that out so I can use as much of the tail of this as I can. And so that's what you do. You keep working it, pass the night away. You can actually get them pretty straight depending on what kind of tree it is. See, I've got a bad little bend there. So you just keep working it. You give that one a rest for a while. You can grab another one. So I've already worked some of these a bit. Trying to straighten them out, get us over your knee. These are from an ash tree. Now people say, oh, this is the best thing for making bows, this is the best thing for making arrows, this kind of wood, but you don't got that choice in a bush situation. You just try and find the trees that match, have the properties you need, like a reasonably straight branch, hopefully not a lot of skinning. These were ash trees. These are actually getting pretty good. Just keep eyeballing if it's raining or it's not too dark to go hunting. Get your bow arrows nice and straight so when it does get daylight you'll be ready to go. Good straight arrows. So I give that one a rest for a while. Check out this one. Bend this over your knee a little bit. These are actually coming along pretty good. They were pretty crappy curved when I started. Still not the most elegant arrows in the world. But even a few minutes like this, even if you want to go hunting right away, even a few minutes work like this will help the arrow quite a bit. See, this is pretty springy stuff still, this ash. This was a pretty bad time of year to go making a bow and arrow set out of whatever you find. It's spring and all the trees are just loaded with sap and water and makes them really soft. Okay, so you get the idea. Give that one a rest for a while. Go on to your other one.